Well, good evening and welcome to TV47's Daily Report. This is The Insight. My name is Linda Alela, sitting in for our very own Victor Muyakani. Now, Nairobi County in the 2023-2024 budget allocated 1.7 billion shillings towards the Dishi na County program, with about 500 billion shillings actually meant to build 7 more kitchens as a top-up to about 10 others for a school feeding program. Clouded with doubts and appreciations in equal measures, Nairobians are asking just how vital a role has the Sakaja school feeding program played in boosting food affordability, availability and nutrition for the school-going children, and also just how healthy is Nairobi. So tonight on The Insight, and on behalf of Victor Muyakani, as I have said, I will engage the Honorable Ms. Susan Silantoi, the County Executive for Health, that is Wellness and Nutrition, right here in Nairobi, to get answers for these questions. But first, before we get to that, it's important that we take a look at what is in the world of news.
Tonight, are the new taxes imposed by the government resulting to missed revenue?
The only component of tax that has increased since then is the 16% VAT, which accounts for about 27 shillings. Ideally speaking, we should be having 135 or that something shillings per litre. But that's not the case.
Experts in the fuel distribution sector decry losses. Also, President William Ruto refutes claims that the affordable houses built by the government are out of the reach of the common mwananchi.
Hapa 20% ya hizi manyumba yote 2,500 tutajenga hapa. 20% itakuwa ni ya kina mama mboga, watu ya bodaboda na wale wengine watu wa mapato ya chini.
But will hustlers afford it?
Zamani sisi hatukuwa tunaua mama ama mtoto, lakini wameua mtoto mmoja amebaki ambaye ni ako hapo nyuma yangu.
And a 4-year-old girl miraculously escapes a bandit attack in Baringo that left 3 members of the same family dead.
Catherine Simaloi is a sign language interpreter. You can interact with us. The hashtag is The Insight. Before we get to that candid discussion, what is the news? And after the government increased value-added tax, that is VAT, on petroleum products from 8% to 16%, it is now possible that President William Ruto's administration is not collecting anticipated amounts of money from taxes. That is due to a low number of Kenyans purchasing fuel. A majority of Kenyans have reportedly parked their personal vehicles as a result of the high cost of living. And as Micah Gwongo now reports, the price of fuel is expected to further come down in the next few months following the amount of fuels currently in the store.
The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA) is set to announce new fuel prices in mid this month. The prices are expected to further come down due to positive changes in the international market. Despite the positive gesture, fuel traders are undergoing difficult times due to a massive decrease in the number of customers.
Because of other economic factors that are affecting every other sector of the economy, the purchasing power of most people have a bit dwindled, and things that we would do for leisure, like drives and road trips and such, are not happening. So, and that is what has now precipitated to what people might feel like the dwindled kind of consumption of petroleum in the country is happening.
On December 10th, 2023, Kituo cha Sheria Organization filed a petition in court seeking an order to stop EPRA from sustaining the high cost of petrol and diesel due to low prices in the international market. According to the chairperson of the Petroleum Outlets Association, Martin Chomba, the price of fuel is expected to go down by a big margin in the coming months, but called for patience, adding that the fuel currently being sold arrived in the country over 3 months ago.
So they put pressure on government to drop the prices. But in real sense, the fuel that we have is 2 months prior. So the prices are not real, but because of that political consideration, sometimes the government has to do whatever they have to do to drop the prices, but that is not real. What should be real drop is what we are happening now in January.
While the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority was working on the most recent review of fuel prices, which resulted in a 5 shillings decrease in petrol pump prices last month, dealers focused on the dollar shortage, which caused them to purchase the greenback at a higher cost than the official exchange rates printed on paper.
We are expecting a drop from this 14. We are expecting a drop, and the trend that we are having in the international market, there appears to be a rally, and the prices have been dropping, plummeting quite fast. And we are expecting, like this 14, we are expecting quite a drop of fuel, and because we procure a product two months prior.
According to Chamba, the current dollar scarcity, which has created a parallel exchange rate and led lenders to buy and sell the dollar far above the published official rates, is the cause of the foreign exchange variation. Overall, the increase in fuel prices has the impact of raising transportation costs, escalating inflationary pressures, raising corporate expenses, and generally decelerating the nation's economic growth. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Thanks, Mike, for that report. Now to politics, and Jubilee leaders allied to Yala Member of Parliament and nominated Member of Parliament Sabina Chege have now pledged to work with President William Ruto, although with new demands to the number one in command, which include financial autonomy for the county assemblies to allow proper oversight, ward fund and pension for the ward representatives who have served over 2 terms. This was canvassed in a meeting which was attended by over 100 MCAs at Nakuru State House Lodge, with the issue of Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kione allegedly threatening some MCAs cropping up in the meeting, and as well as court cases with President urging them to be firm.
Wamekuja kwa wingi.
In a Thursday morning meeting which brought together over 100 MCAs from the Jubilee Party faction led by Yala MP Kanini Kega and nominated MP Sabina Chege.
Kia kwamba sisi tuko nyuma yako, sisi wana Jubilee.
A meeting which was meant to air out issues facing ward representatives and Jubilee leaders at large as they chart their way forward on political journey with number one in command. The MCS lamenting of the ongoing alleged harassment and threats by former Ndaragwa MP and Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kione. President urging them to stay firm as they are the majority.
And I'm convinced that when you work together with His Excellency, also your Deputy President and your team of the executive, we know this country we will go very far. Mambo inaweza kuwa magumu leo, lakini kesho maneno itakuwa sawa.
Shikilia hawa watu Bwana Rais, sababu pia vita ni mingi, tuko na makesi mingi sana kotini. Hata sisi tumeenda kotini ili turudishwe kwa kamati, lakini najua mambo ya koti ni vile vile. Akiwa una ufuko hawezi kusikiza rais. Kwa hivyo hata kwa hii makesi yetu ya Jubilee tusaidie.
Further, the MCS demanded the president to address financial autonomy for county assemblies and ward fund to ensure proper oversight role in the counties, insisting the need to have pension after serving 2 terms as it is for members of parliament. Jubilee Party having been pronounced a parliamentary party, the Kanini Kega faction wants the matter addressed to the county assemblies too.
In most cases, we make popular decisions. But the decisions that you have taken, especially the issue of the housing, is a firm decision, is a good decision. Might not be popular now, but 2-3 years to come, Kenyans will look back and say, yes, His Excellency Dr. William.
Mimi naona kuna mwangaza, kuna kitu ambaye Ruto anaona mbali, lakini sisi hatuoni. Unajua wananchi wakati wanani kitu wanafikirianga tu tunamalizwa, lakini akona nia ya kusaidia sisi.
President and his deputy urging leaders to work in unity and put election matters behind them and focus on development.
At you can build a country kutumia madeni pesa ya watu wengine. We have to build our own resources. Ni mnanielewa? But because it's a difficult decision to make. Nobody wants to make it. Watu wanataka tu unachaguliwa na unataka tu kupigiwa makofi throughout. Why? Hakuna mtu anachaguliwa kupigiwa makofi. We have to change our country. And I am telling you, we are going to change Kenya.
And William Ruto is on the same trajectory. And Your Excellency, we want to encourage you. We want to encourage you that you are on the right path and just remain focused. Don't allow this noise to sway your thinking.
Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
And President William Ruto now says 20% of houses built in the government's affordable housing program will be reserved for the common mwananchi like the mama mboga and the boda riders. This comes in the wake of criticism after prices of the houses in Nakuru seemed too expensive for the common mwananchi.
Habari? Mambo? Salama sana. Uko area?
For days now, the Kenya Kwanza government has been on the receiving end over questions emerging on whether ordinary Kenyans can afford houses built by the government through the affordable housing plan. Many Kenyans, both on and offline, opine that many Kenyans cannot afford the houses after prices of the almost completed affordable housing units in Bondeni and Nakuru were opened for purchase by the public, showing that the would-be owners will have to part with a deposit of 315,000 for a 2-bedroom unit and 425,000 for a 3-bedroom unit. And today, the president now says the plan would benefit the ordinary Kenyans as was envisaged. Speaking during the inspection of construction of the Ol-Kalou affordable housing program in Nyandarua County, President Ruto said that 20% of the houses will be set aside for boda boda and mama mboga.
20% itakuwa ni ya kina mama mboga, watu ya boda boda na wale wengine watu wa mapato ya chini. Hiyo inaitwa social housing.
The head of state set the record straight in regards to the housing, calling it social housing and elucidating on the various categories of housing the government is establishing across the country.
Malipo yake ni shilingi 3,200 mpaka shilingi 6,000. Iko ya 3,200, iko ya 4,000 na iko na ya 6,000. Wewe utaamua ni gani unataka. Na hiyo 3,000 unalipa baada ya miaka 15 nyumba inakuwa yako. Wewe unanielewa? Inaitwa social housing. Sasa wewe wacha nikwambie vile utalipa. Si ndio? Si 3,000 sasa hii unalipa kwa rent. Sasa uache kulipa rent ukuje uishi hapa ulipe hii na nyumba ikue yako. Hapo ndio utaanzia. Hiyo nyumba ambayo unataka kununua mama, deposit inatakikana shilingi 80,000. Wacha nikwambie vile utapata 80,000. 80,000 sasa hii tumeanza kujenga hii nyumba. Sawa? Unaweka shilingi 150 kila siku. Baada ya mwezi moja ni 4,500. Baada ya mwaka moja na nusu itakuwa shilingi 80,000. Just 150 shillings.
The president urged Kenyans to dial *832# on their phones and register on the Boma Yangu portal so as to be allocated a unique identification number which is to be used to save and qualify to own homes of their choice.
Umesema unstoppable. Sasa umenimalizia. Nitawaambia umesema unstoppable.
Kisewa Emory, TV47.
And tonight, President William Ruto hit out at Azimio leader Raila Odinga on his threat to lead demos over the high cost of living. The president, who spoke in Nyandarua County, where he launched several development projects, dismissed Azimio's threat as futile, saying only his subsidized fertilizer program for farmers and job opportunities, that is for the youth, will solve the dilemma. And as Apollo Kamau reports, the president, for the 3rd day running, warned the judiciary not to sabotage his development agenda.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
On his 2nd day in the populous Mount Kenya region, President William Ruto moved in to stem Azimio's influence in the region in the wake of the opposition's threat to hold demos if the Finance Act is not repealed to lower the high cost of living.
Wale wanasema iendelee hivi nione kwa.
With former President Uhuru Kenyatta's allies in the Mount Kenya region, among them Jeremiah Kioni on the receiving end, the president termed Azimio leader Raila Odinga's threat as futile, saying demos will not lower the cost of living.
Usipoenda shambani chakula itatoka. Sasa hii watu wawache upuzi. Ama namna gani? Adile mtu akitendawili anatangatanga barabarani ameweka sufuria, anavunja viazi ya wamama, anavunja mayai ya watu, anazunguka barabarani ati ndio bei ya unga itashuka. Itashuka namna gani?
Tumesikia juzi hii mtu ya hapa ya sufuria kichwa hapa Ndaragwa anaitwa nani? Ile mtu alipotea. Ati akisema ati watakuja hapa kushindana na rais. Sisi naambia nyinyi mshindane na rais kwa social media. Mshindane na yeye kwa magazeti na opinion poll. Rais anangoja nyinyi hapa kwa ground. Si hapa ndio ground. Hapa ndio maneno naamriwa.
Mambo? Salama sana. Uko area?
For the third day running, the president serving a warning to the judiciary, saying he will not allow the courts to stop his flagship projects, creating jobs for the youth.
Nimeambia pia kotini, hakuna vile tunaweza kusimamisha mpango kama hii ya housing. Mpango ambayo iko kwenye katiba, mpango ambayo iko kwenye manifesto, mpango ambayo imepitishiwa sheria. Itasimama namna gani ati kwa sababu mtu mmoja ameenda kotini? Sijui kama tunaelewana. Nikiongea na nyinyi hapa, kwa ile sites tuko nayo, vijana zaidi ya 1120 tayari wanafanya kazi, wakiwemo vijana 500 wa hapa Olkalao. Alafu mtu anasema nisimamishe hiyo mradi ati kwa sababu ya mambo yake ya kibinafsi. Hawa vijana,
wananchi wa hapa wamesema, mtu mwenye walichagua wakasema atapatia vijana kazi. Hapana jaji, hapana hiyo watu ya Nairobi, walipatia mtu mmoja anaitwa William Samoei Ruto. Kama ulishinda deep state, kama ukashinda rais mwenye amekalia kiti, mpaka ukashinda hiyo wakora yote, jaji mmoja ni nani ndiye atakushinda?
Juzi walikuwa wameandika opinion poll ati watu ya Nyandarua ati hamtaki Rais William Ruto. Ni uongo. Walikuja hapa kuuliza nyinyi maswali. Unajua hawa watu ya Infotrack wamefanya Raila rais mara 5. Kila wakati wanaandika atashinda anaanguka. Kila wakati wanaandika atashinda anafanya nini? Sasa walikuwa wanafikiria ati wakiandika ati wanaweza changanya sisi. Sisi tumewaambia watu ya hapa Nyandarua tunasoma barua ikiwa kwa bahasha.
During the tour, the president launched the Boyman Kwamombi Road, which has been in a sorry state, Olkalao Water and Sewerage Project, and the Affordable Housing Project.
Na vile tunaona hii kazi, kusema kweli tutainuka sisi kama wananyandarua. Tunasema shukran sana kwa hii housing project ambayo itaandika vijana wetu.
The president further reiterating his order to the new KICC to be buying milk from dairy farmers at 50 shillings a litre. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, it has emerged that a 4-year-old girl was rescued in the Tuesday attack that left 3 members of the same family dead. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, the girl was found lying beside her dead mother, who was immersed in a pool of blood. For now, friends and relatives to the deceased are yet to come to terms with the death, as some schools remain closed.
This is Chemoi area of Baringo North. The silence that has since dominated this village clearly depicts that something is amiss. Villagers have congregated this homestead as they mourn the death of the family of 3 killed by bandits on Tuesday this week. In the Tuesday incident, a father, a mother, a 3-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl was sprayed with bullets which killed 3 on the spot. However, it has now emerged that the 4-year-old girl only fainted but was not hurt.
Lakini wameua mtoto mmoja amepaki ambaye ni ako hapo nyuma yangu.
Na huyo mtoto aliua, hiyo watoto hauna hatia. Hata mama yenye kuna mtoto ameua na mtoto yake.
When the rescue team arrived at the scene, they found the 4-year-old crying next to her dead mother, who was lying in a pool of blood.
Wakati wa siasa, nyinyi mnakuja kusema tuombe tu amani. Sisi tutachunga kila mahali. Nyinyi muende nyumbani. Na nyinyi mnaenda kukaa kwa starehe Nairobi, nyinyi mnaenda fika story yenu mnakula. Na watu wetu nalala msituni.
The family had embarked on a 28-kilometer journey from Marigat to Chemoi for a pass-out ceremony before they were ambushed and shot dead by the bandits just 1 kilometer away to their destination.
Naenda uishi mali nyaju, naenda ukaa tu huko, unasema Wacha tu niende nyumbani. Pika nyumbani risasi ndio hiyo.
The Tuesday's two separate attacks that left 5 people dead have equally led to the closure of 5 schools, including Kagir, Kamwetio, Kosile, Ngaratuko, and Ishakanin, as parents fear for the lives of their children.
Hata leo teacher wametuambia wale watoto wameripoti it was supposed to be 250. Lakini wale watoto wameripoti kwa hii shule sasa ni watoto 30 peke yake.
Kuna watoto wetu nataka uende nini shule Chemwe. Lakini sasa unakuta mtu inaenda na mtoto yake. Kiambia nini naendelea naambia usiniambie.
Distraught locals have called on security officials to work with speed and weed out gun-wielding bandits in the area.
So mimi naomba serikali kama kuna nguvu yoyote ambayo atatumia kwa area hii akuchanyang'anya wa bunduki afanya operation area hii.
The 3 injured in the Tuesday attack are still recuperating at the Baringo County Referral Hospital. The bodies of the 2 who were killed in Kagir on Tuesday evening have also been moved to Baringo County Referral Morgue. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Liz, for that unfortunate story. And in a bid to enhance the standards for education in Murang'a County, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has launched an initiative dubbed Masomo Bora Kiharu, a program that aims to guarantee uninterrupted education for at least 15,000 students across the 62 secondary schools in Kiharu constituency by addressing challenges such as school fees inadequacy, school infrastructure, as well as insufficient provision of meals, as Andrew Kilemi details.
Officially, it has been launched.
Day secondary school students in Kiharu constituency, Murang'a County, will be required to pay only 1,000 shillings per term following the launch of the Masomo Bora Education Initiative, launched by Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro early Thursday.
Hii mpango yote ya Kiharu Masomo Bora, fees ni shilingi only 1,000 per term kwa wale wote ambao wanasomea shule za day school za hapa Kiharu.
The initiative seeks to positively impact 15,000 students attending 62 day secondary schools in Kiharu constituency. Besides the reduction of school fees, the program will also ensure infrastructure improvements in schools, nutritional support and bursaries.
Katika pia hiyo mpango, watoto watakuwa wanakula shule, wanakula githeri 3 days na wanakula mchele 3 days, kwa sababu hata Saturdays zile shule ambazo zinaenda shule ama wanafunzi wanaenda shule, tutakuwa tumewatolea chakula ya kula hiyo wakati wa Saturday.
Other leaders who attended the launch endorsed the program, considering it a model for other constituencies to emulate.
Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro, ujue mpango yako mzuri ya masomo imefanya watu wa Kiharu, watu wa Murang'a, yule mwenye yako na mtoto hamuoni kama mzigo, anaona mtoto kama ni investment, anamuona kama engineer, anaona kama ni daktari, anaona kama ni pilot, na hiyo uendelee namna hiyo, na mimi sitakuwa na haraka ya kuondoka.
The program, which was initiated by the National Constituency Development Fund NGCDF, has so far seen 10 million shillings allocated to purchase additional revision books for learners in day secondary schools within Kiharu constituency.
The rollout of Masomo Bora program will not only boost the primary to secondary school transition rate, but also aid in the eradication of drug and alcohol abuse among the youth. Andrin Kilemi, TV47, Kiharu, Murang'a County.
Now, the government has promised leniency in capital flows into the country and fiscal incentives as Kenya prepares to host the upcoming Global Summit on Science, Parks and Areas of Innovation, IASP. Industrialization Principal Secretary Abu Bakar Hassan says the winning of the global conference hosting rights this year and investors zooming into possible opportunities in Kenya's techpreneur space, research and development, and even STEM development. He says there will be no restriction as Kenya continues to pursue the leading sport in FDI growth in the globe.
Kenya is one of the larger economies in the region, contributing to almost half of the EAC gross domestic product. The projections for the future are just as optimistic, with the possibilities of the economy being steered by a youthful and innovative population, as the average age of a Kenyan remains at around 19 years.
It's going to be a catalyst for our startup ecosystem, and also ensuring that we are able to bring up our startup ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, and also research and development. And these are impetus to our creative economy, digital economy, and eventually our GDP.
Your capital flows is not restricted in coming into these zones. There are no foreign exchange controls, and recently, with the help of PSTANU, we have even lifted the ownership of companies in the ICT sector, so there are no local ownership restriction, no foreign exchange restriction, and when money comes in and want to leave, our Finance Act 2023, we have said it will leave without any tax. There is no tax on dividend, there is no tax on interest, there is no tax on professional fees, so money can move in and move out freely.
This is after Kenya backed the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation for this year over 80 other countries.
Transferring the knowledge, but it is converting the knowledge into technologies, being entrepreneurial, so that you now have the knowledge to transform the economy.
Science parks like Onsa Technopolis, places where research facilities are hosted, where top scientists and research are based, and they address some of the global leading challenges and finding solutions and linking it to business, that they can create startups, they can create enterprises that will drive the world economy.
Konza Technopolis will be used as the smart city model for the global summit, where the Technopolis will be commercialized as well. The smart city also plans to leverage on the platform to promote the local innovation ecosystems, especially startups and SMEs, to evolve and access new markets, resources, and opportunities by creating global linkages.